Welcome everyone to the But I Know the DJ podcast. We have myself, Snacks, and Cammy V checked in on a commemorative episode of the show. For those who don't know, the last couple of weeks we've been mourning the loss, but celebrating the life of our brother DJ Fingaz, who co-hosted the show for the last 3 years. I'm sure some of you noticed the decline in his attendance on the show as he was tending to his health and his family. We never expected the worst, so we just continued on with the show in hopes that he would be able to come back with the irreplaceable energy that he brought. But on June 24th, 2025, we lost the star of not only our show, but of our community and our family. Anyone that knew him or even just heard about him knew his presence was powerful. He always had a lot to say, which made him so popular amongst our listeners. He always had a lot to prove because he was never satisfied with his own greatness. Fingaz had no ceiling. His ideas far surpassed the understanding of most people. It translated in his production, his songwriting, his edits, his DJing, and his performing. Fingaz had an X factor. You can't teach it. You just had to hope that you were born with it. I've mentioned on this show before, like to him, kind of give him in his flowers at one point, that I knew of him well before I was able to share a stage with him. He was in the Boston club scene before he could even legally drink. He was a staple in nightlife. I used to scroll on Instagram and look at the flyers he posted and always wish that I could do what he did. He was my blueprint. He was my inspiration. I remember when I met him, I wanted to impress him. I wanted his validation, and I hoped that he accepted me and found that I was worthy of his time and attention. And over time, we found that we were cut from the same cloth, two pieces that bursted off of the same blanket of, mediocrity and onto a table of dreams. He didn't want to be a piece. He wanted a quilt. He always wanted something bigger, and he wanted to find, encourage, and champion other pieces that were like us. His quilt included JJP, the DJ group he founded with DJ J Nice, that included some of New England's finest DJs. His quilt included myself and Cammy and this show. His quilt included his own children, who will carry on his legacy of creativity and stardom. Fingaz was a wild card, unpredictable. He was one who would say what everyone was thinking, but was too afraid to say, because what could you do? No one wanted to go toe-to-toe with him. That's the kind of figure he was. People respected him, and his word was often gospel. The amount of comments and texts I would get that would say, just wait till Fingaz finds out about this, or just wait till Fingaz, gets a hold of this information and see what he's going to do with it. He was the godfather. When news broke out about his passing, I saw a short comment that cleanly tied up who he was. He was rare because he cared. He wanted more for and from everyone. He always told his peers how valuable they were, even if the individuals themselves didn't see it. His passion was profound and his love was rich. We wanted to take the time to honor him as he has impacted us, and I know the listeners as well. If you haven't already, please take some time and consideration to celebrate him. During his services, a common theme that was talked about was keeping his legacy alive, to not slow down, but ramp up whatever work and dreams you had, because that is what he would want. The show will live on with his honor. His music will live on. Please support it. His legacy will live on through his family and his brothers in the DJ community. Speaking personally, Fingaz, thank you for inspiring me, inspiring us. Thank you for being a great friend. Thank you for being you. And long live Fingaz. So just wanted to have, obviously let y'all know. And again, for those who, I guess, maybe outside the Boston community or the social media community, we know that you all loved him the same way we did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been crazy to see the impact he'd made, just online first, right? Everything was online first. And whether it's through the show or, just the greater Boston DJ community, just so many people were posting about it and talking about it. And then going to his service, there was easily in and out 1,000 people, plus shut down the funeral. Like, it was
literally
crazy. The parking lot, like,
lined down the parking lot.
Parking was insane. We had to take over the neighboring parking lot of whatever business that was. it was very clear that that he was loved by a lot of people, and being part of this DJ community, being in that service, just seeing so many people that we haven't seen in a long time, because we're all just so caught up with work, doing our thing, grinding, trying to level up, and that was a day where like the earth stood still, and we were all, mourning and there for the same reason, but it was it was good to see people, but it was just in the worst circumstances, and for me, in my reflection, like I was surrounded by so many people that I'm like creatively duking it out with every week.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's just been like, like it's just like there's just stuff so much bigger.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
stuff like this really puts, what we do into perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like dudes that like, it's all good competition and stuff, and it's all gravy, it's all love and stuff. But like, I was just hugging dudes.
Yep.
And I think on another side of that, like it was just grown men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously just our community is so male dominated. It was just grown men that were just breaking down, and as being all different types of members in this community, like we were all just trying to like be there for each other. And again, it just really showed, because his career was long, cut short obviously, but dude had a long career, consistent staple in the game. That like there was dudes that were like my veterans, my OGs, and dudes that were younger than me that were like all there, So it was great to see the kind of impact he made.
Mm-hmm.
Being there showed me and represented so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And again, just in my reflection, like in the last few weeks, I've just been like, even some of the stuff we talk on the show, you know what I mean, about like, trying to be the best or trying to do whatever. It's just like it like didn't matter anymore.
Right.
Yep. So it was just, I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot. And I appreciate y'all like letting listening to me say what I need to say, and and just paying my respect to him.
Dude, that was beautiful opening monologue. Couldn't have said it better myself, obviously. Dude, just what a massive loss, like across the board. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Tough. Hard to find the words. Can never find the words. Mm-hmm. But I know, especially at this show, and what he'd want us to do is keep it going.
Yeah.
Think of him all the time when we're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, and for OG listeners, I mean, for those who maybe are newer listeners, like the show didn't always have Cammy and Fingaz. It was just me for a while, and when we wanted to like kind of change the format and realize that like I needed help, and Fingaz was a guest on the show twice, and both times was like, dude, it was electricity. Like it was just.
Bro,
I don't have to like say. You guys know what it's like when me and him are, when we're arguing and whatever. And it was just so good. Yeah. Like it was just, and the things we would talk about and
big Sag energy.
Yeah, big Sag energy, and,
yep.
and I was like, this needs to be consistent. Like we need to record these conversations, dude. Like, and that was why. He was one of the people that I picked to co-host the show, and obviously he was an immediate hit, and all of our merch ideas were always around him. We're always around him. Yeah. Like he was the star of the show, and I remember someone was like, "Yo, how do you feel about like Fingaz like taking all like the hype in your show, and I'm like, bro, I love it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like he is the star of the show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%.
Like we all just want to see what he says about certain things. Like people would always text me like, "Yo, you guys gonna talk about this on the podcast?" Like we gotta, like I can't wait to hear what Fingers has to say about it.
Yep.
And so, you know, huge inspiration, and you know, for the people that maybe have even seen him perform, or just been around him, like just like hang out with him, like when we're not working, you know, when we're just like hanging out. Just such a passionate dude.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, yeah, it's.
That's gonna be the toughest part for me, because I'll like, you know, shit would pop off in the news. You know, and we had our own chat where we send stuff to each other all the time, and you know, oh, we're gonna talk about this, and I'll see something even like now, and I'm like, bro, I wish I could send it to him.
Send it to him. Yeah. And yeah. It's a huge loss, and again, like for those who've been like consistently listening and watching and stuff, like obviously he hasn't been around, but it's like we always thought it would be like it's just a matter of time when he comes back, you know. And it's just, yeah,
kick the door down, Undertaker.
yeah. That's how we were planning for his return, I think.
Yep.
Or oh no, that is what we did when he was first took a hiatus. That's what we did.
Yep. But yeah, just in my reflection, you know, just super lucky and fortunate to have gotten close with him, as close as we did over the years, and yeah, man, it's like I said, big loss. Fuck, I can't believe I keep getting choked up already. We're 10 minutes in, but
it's all right, man.
That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, it's tough to get on a microphone and trying to, you know what I mean?
Talk about your feelings.
Yeah. And we are trying to, I guess, keep this as lean as possible.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to do it. But you know, I don't want to, you know, give you your time and stuff. But
yeah, it's hard. I thought I'd have a little bit more than that, but so I apologize to the listeners. But dude, just like what a privilege, though. I mean, like I had a front row seat to the best show in Boston every other Tuesday. You know, never knew what he was gonna say, and I was just along for the ride. You know. Yeah, man. But yeah, dude, I think like I said, this really puts perspective into life, and you know, definitely, you know, I mean, dude, the dude has music for fucking days, literally days, weeks, years. So the fact that we have that to still commemorate, and you know, he's got edits in the streets that have gone multi-platinum at this point. You know, so the fact that I can still, you know, keep the legacy alive in my sets, and I encourage other DJs to do it as well. Even if he, like, bro, the amount of people that reached out as well, sorry, I'm rambling here, but the amount of people that reached out as well and was like, bro, I know that was your guy, and dude, I just want to say, like, just the amount of stories and people like, bro, he helped me out, like, so much free game, and, you know, asked nothing in return, just for the love of the craft. You know, I know Jay Nice played, like, a really nice video during the services, and, you know, basically, essentially one of the clips basically was like, dude, I have all this knowledge, you know, and I don't want it to, you know, go to the grave with me. I want to take it and give it to as many people as I can to help push the craft forward. And that's just kind of guy he was.
Yeah.
You know, like, and, you know, as such as a big figure, like, dude, he'd come in the room and everyone knew, like, you know, the personality that he had and the energy that he brought. Bro, he fucking cared so much about music and the craft. Yeah, which is, you know, there's a lot of dudes that don't move that way. And I think that's why it's really hitting close to home to so many people here.
Yeah. No, well said. Well said for sure. I know you had some words from people close to him. Yeah,
so, you know, I reached out to some close friends, and, you know, I figured, you know, we have the platform, and you know, I just wanted to share some words from some people. I know I already mentioned I spoke with Jay Nice, and I spoke with Jay Nice earlier, and, you know, I mentioned the video tribute. You know, and part of that tribute too in the video, he was talking about, like, the collab process with artists and producers. which I thought was super impactful. And, you know, at the end of the service, we went out to the parking lot, which you mentioned, and they had the newest project with Mike V queued up. And, you know, the last song of the project, which just dropped now, definitely go check out Wine Through It. Amazing project. You know, Fingaz produced the entire album. You know, the last song was 2K5 and Fingaz Forever, which was, dude, the song is amazing. And, you know, to see everyone come together, all walks of life, throwing out the JJP and everything was definitely a great heartfelt moment that, you know, the community felt the impact of. But I also spoke with Rico, and he sent this in to me today, you know, commemorating like the Too Loud. If you don't know, you know.
Yeah. DJ Rico Suave.
Shout out Rico. He said, man, where do I begin? Was lucky enough to get introduced to Fingaz through Danny T and Hectic. One of my favorite memories will always be January 10th, 2019, the day we created and released our Too Loud logo from scratch. That moment solidified our bond, not just as a DJ duo, but as brothers. To many sets, to many memories. One of the funniest memories was recording a Too Loud podcast in his studio, and he had the brilliant idea of smoking before recording. Mind you, I don't smoke. We did it anyways. It was so many laughs the whole time recording. I need to find the audio for that because it was gold. Rest easy, legend. Forever Fingaz. We are Too Loud. I mean, dude, I know. Yeah, him and Rico were legit brothers, bro.
And I think the first time Fingaz was a guest, it was with Rico, I think.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yep.
And I mean, they DJ'd together so often, did so much together. It's good to hear from Rico, so I'm glad he contributed that.
Yeah, me too. And then Talia, I spoke with Talia, who is his longtime partner. And, you know, she wanted to share some moments in the household. You know, I expressed to her that at one point, you know, I know he's got 2 boys at home. And, you know, if they ever wanted to, like, learn some stuff or, like, you know, hear some things about their dad they never heard before, I wanted to use this platform for, you know, an opportunity for that. And, you know, so she said some moments in the household, teaching Kai around the age of 6 or 7 months old to beatbox. And Kai caught on very quickly, which he also did with his oldest son, King, showing the boys his version of the moonwalk and would always end up making them dance battle. I mean, dude, Fingaz could move, bro. Fingaz could fucking move, so that doesn't surprise me at all. Bringing them into the studio just so they can mess with the beats and the piano. No matter where we are, he going to throw in a joke and almost make you pee your pants, literally. I mean, we've seen it every episode here. Yeah. Just always making someone laugh, teaching them the icons and music, especially from the islands of Cape Verde. Seeing the amount of love that he received in person and now that he's passed has been beautiful to watch. And, you know, she's very grateful for all the connections made and, you know, the people that have reached out to her. But I did want to close with this one thing that she sent a couple days after his passing. And I'm just going to read it if that's all right. So she said, some people come into your life and quietly change everything. Bubs did that for me. We found our way back to each other in the summer of 2019. And from that moment on, he became my heart, my peace, and my home. He held me through the hard days, made me laugh when I needed it most, and loved me with the truth and depth I'd never known before. But more than that, he took my boys in and loved them as if they were his own. No hesitation, no conditions. He showed up every day as a father with patience, pride, and so much love. Watching him with them was like watching the purest form of love and motion. He gave them guidance, joy, and security, and gave me the gift of seeing them love so fully. He was a man of passion and purpose, especially when it came to his music and being a dad. And in all the ways that mattered most, he was everything. Honest, strong, tender, and true. Loving Bubs and being loved by him shaped me and us in ways that will last forever. His spirit lives on in our memories, in our boys, and in every beat of the music that he loved so much. Thank you, Bubs, for choosing us, for loving us, for being everything you were. Until we meet again, my love, you'll always be our forever.
Amazing. And she's, you know, seeing her and everything, she's always handled things with grace. And, you know, obviously through him, I became cool with her. She's always been great. And,
yeah.
You know, and I will say that my biggest frustration with Fingaz was him missing the show.
Yep.
And but it was always because of his family.
Family.
It was always because of family stuff.
Yep.
So he was that was something he obviously prioritized, and it was always family over everything. And so that was definitely that definitely rang true. Just a stand up dude. Again, everyone respected him. I wanted to offer anyone else, any other producer, anything, if just kind of open up. You guys don't have to, but you guys are part of the show and did work with him and stuff. If you guys want to add anything.
One thing that I did want to say, that as someone who maybe didn't know Fingaz as well as you guys, but I found out very quickly from meeting him when I did probably a couple of years ago, 2 or 3. As you know, I was pretty close with Knowledge, and so was Fingaz. When I met Fingaz, I was like, this is why they're friends.
Yeah,
because they're like Fingaz is like unapologetically himself, and there's the term stage presence. He has stage presence like wherever he goes.
Yeah, just like in life.
And that was, I would say, definitely the most admirable thing about him by far that I noticed, especially.
Yeah, and that became super evident like when we had Knowledge on the show, and just seeing them
going back and forth.
Yeah, they would like finish each other's sentences almost, and so I definitely feel that. Thank you, EJ. Don't know if anyone else wants to say anything. Again, you don't feel like you have to.
I want to say just thankful enough to even be close to Fingaz just because of being on the show. Like I said, I played with Fingaz once at Icon, and actually with the story, I have a funny story about it. So I don't know if you guys remember that popular reel that we made talking about promoters and how that really blew up. And he was like the main guy over that.
Oh yeah.
And of course, not just so many details between everything. Of course, he got upset about it a little bit because I feel like I was so new to the podcast. I feel like I wasn't.
Oh yeah, you cut it.
Misquoted.
You cut it.
So I was just doing I was just doing ways of just okay, this is just how I learned how podcasts just short clips work.
Yeah,
of course, they made him upset, and then the whole Ado was on the IG story telling everybody,
oh
man.
Yeah. So basically, Dylan took out to make it more concise. Took out maybe contextual.
Yeah, there was context
comments.
that was
the
missing.
first line that Fingaz said was a lot of promoters, but Dylan put the caption all promoters.
Yeah. and Fingaz obviously got really upset. He was like, "Bro, you're gonna fuck up my relationships and shit like that." And yeah, he came. I remember that.
And with that story, so I thought.
So what? He confronted you about it?
Yeah, we so a month go past, and then of course I played with them at Icon, and I got a chance to play with them a little bit. And after the gig, I guess hey, I really apologize. There was no way. And then we stayed for a lot, 50 minutes past time, but that was I know that Fingaz is a very feels like he's very standoffish or he's very strong, but he's vulnerable. And I'm glad I got a chance to see the vulnerable part. I mean, that's why I got a little bit more close with him. And then of course, hearing his passing, one of the weirdest. I was at a gig on Tuesday, so and I'm hearing text messages on my Instagram what else going on, and then just immediately had to just step out. I was like, man, this is crazy to me. So wishing Fingaz, man, forever Fingaz. He's a legend, and then. Even though I didn't know you for so long, I'm glad I did know you a little bit more.
That's awesome.
It's a great story. Thank you, man. Yeah. The vulnerable part for sure.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of in the car, late night talks with him, and that's definitely true. We have Ado here for some words.
Yeah. Probably a little bit hard to speak on it. Obviously, his presence in the office, coming in here on, on, Tuesdays, it was like he kept you honest, right? Like like to try to make this, as lighthearted as possible, but he kept you honest in terms of, having real conversations and really being authentic, like, on the podcast, off the podcast. And I'm sure for you guys as DJs, right, he tested you not because he wanted to bring you down, but like he was trying to bring the best out of people, right? When you talk about DJ Nice, Hectic, and, Fingers and starting that group and Rico and all those people is, I think the job of the pioneers or the people to first start is to, bring people along and elevate, right? And I think the consistent message that you heard from the service was that he was always there for his family. His family wasn't just his immediate family, his kids or his partners or his siblings or parents. It was, the DJ community. It was the nightlife community. And so I think obviously, like his presence will be missed. But like you guys said, we will continue to celebrate his legacy. We will continue to have conversations on this platform. Forever live Fingers.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Ado.
Thank you. And so we want to appreciate everybody that's listening and for, I guess, just like allowing us to, kind of express ourselves and celebrate him and again, he was such an anchor to the show that there's just no way we could have ignored, like, you know what I mean? Like, ignored it and
Yo, speaking of Fingers on the show, let's make it a little lighthearted here. What were some of your funniest fucking moments on the show with Fingers, bro?
It was hard because when I did, like, my Instagram, I didn't realize how much, like, content I had with him.
Yeah.
And it was hard, like, finding the balance, and it was so fresh at that time.
Yeah.
But, like, I was going through some of, like, our old stuff, and, like, dude, we had some bangers, dude.
Dude, let me drop one off the rip. Dude, the gingivitis.
Yeah.
Yo, that shit still...
That shit rang for months.
Yeah.
Like people would walk up to us like at the club and be like, "Yo,
you bring your own mic?
Yeah, gingivitis."
Yo, did you bring your own mic?
That was one of the hardest like I've ever laughed at, like, in my life.
Yeah.
Familiarity was a big one.
Yeah, I know how to say that now because of him.
There was I forgot what the argument was, but when we really screamed at each other and like I like stood up and was like, bro, because like, he was just, dude. He was again, we're two Sagittariuses, bro. Like it's like arguing against like with a mirror. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that was like the thing, like, and it was also on the other side, like again, Dylan bringing up his vulnerability. Like I've had like a lot of again late night in the car, me and him just like talking about like life and our dreams and stuff like that. And it was just like these two dudes that are just like letting it all out because we knew he was safe.
Yeah. Yep.
And he set that precedent. He was always like, nah, bro, like it's okay to care, like it's okay, like be obsessed, and so again, in so many ways, he was my role model and like my inspiration to be crazy, to be passionate, to want more. I mean, he always talked about stadium, arena. Like he was just always talking like that. And again, that was very evident in his shows, like in his gigs and stuff, in his parties and stuff. He was always about the moments.
Yeah.
And that's been a huge part of my game. You know what I mean? It's like just he had it, and inspired me. And anytime we played together, there was a few times we played together, and it was always like, I gotta bring it.
Yeah,
like
you
like,
had to.
Like I had to bring it, and like he always brought like the best out of me, and made me work that much harder because I'm like, yo, this is a dude that like might know more music than me,
right?
And like he'll pull shit out where I'm just like, God damn it, dude. I'm like, dude, no fucking way.
Dude.
His brain is crazy, dude.
Yep.
And I'm like, and he's a producer, dude. I'm like, I can't. I was like, I can't compete with this dude. It's crazy. Like, and that made the party amazing.
Yep. Yeah.
And he's as good, if not better, of an MC. And I was like, so it's both of us ping ponging.
Yep.
And so the night is just like, holy shit. You know what I mean? So Guy was just amazing and a fucking wild ass dude, bro. He just like
The most out of pocket
bro,
shit was always said on the show.
And the thing is there's a lot of stuff that he wanted to talk about that we had to veto. That's the craziest thing is like people were like, yo, like Fingers is crazy, right? And I'm like, bro, we had to veto mad
it
shit.
was like a majority vote.
Yeah,
and it was always 2 against 1.
And I remember I would be like, bro, like we can't talk about it. And he'd be like, why are you so scared?
Why
like,
not?
Like what the fuck? Like we gotta talk about this shit. We have the platform.
We keep it real, right?
Yeah. And I'm just like, but bro, like I'm gonna get canceled, dude. Or like, bro, like we're gonna lose the show.
Yeah.
And so he was bro, like I'm telling you, like. Again, he's known for being that host, but we honestly put a ceiling on like his like we had to like tame him down.
He took your intro spiel where it's like unfiltered opinions.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He put the unfiltered and unfiltered opinions.
I remember. Yeah, he would send stuff to the chat and he'd be like, "Let's talk about it." And I'm like, "Bro, no, we can't." I'm like, "We can't talk about this, dude."
Yeah, man.
And he's like, "Why? Why are you scared? We gotta talk about it. We gotta." I'm just fucked.
Yeah, dude. I know. Well. Snacks, I'm going to surprise you here for a second. So one of my favorite memories on the show was when we did the Honestly Nevermind album review. And if you guys have never seen that episode, the episode is about 2.5 hours long.
Is this where we drank?
In which case, we drank a full handle of Hennessy.
I remember. Also before. No way. Oh. Dude,
so right now.
Dude, no.
We haven't drank on the show since.
And you know what's crazy about it is he wanted to make that a regular part of the show. Like he wanted us to like drink, and I was like, dude, I can't be getting hammered every Tuesday with you, dude.
Not that.
Oh man. Oh, this is. Yeah, and you know what's crazy? I have to run after this, but I'm gonna do it.
That's why I love you.
Gotta do it.
Drink champs.
Wow. How did you? I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, bro, I hit it.
I mean, you with a brown paper bag is pretty normal, I guess. You know? I was like, oh, that's just Cammy.
That's crazy. All right, baby. Shit. Just a baby one.
It's a baby one.
2 shots of vodka.
Yeah, just a baby one fills it.
1.5 shot.
All right, brother. My guy.
Fingers, man.
Dude.
I've taken so many Hennessy shots with Fingers.
Yeah, I know, bro. I know, man. Yeah, dude. Had to do it.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah, I know. Here's to our brother, man.
Yeah.
Chanovia.
It still tastes terrible.
I think it was heating up in my car.
Fuck. Thank you. No, that's great. That's great. Thank you, man.
You got it, bro.
Well, again, thank you everyone for letting us do this, and please in the comments, say something, show him love. Again, we hope that his family and friends and stuff can watch this and look back at this with and whenever they need some memories or something. So please just fill the comments, we're still gonna obviously like reference him all the time, and we still have his drop here. So he's always gonna be a part of this show and part of our lives. And so again, thank you all for listening and letting us do this. Thank the producers, everyone here for and his friends and family that sent in said some words. Okay, anything else?
I got nothing, bro.
All right.
I got nothing. Miss my guy.
Yeah. Long live Fingers. Thank you, everybody.
Yep.